Suzuki had an impressive qualifying session, just missing out on the top 10, putting his LaRousse in 11th place. He said he's had some decent speed all weekend, but he'll have to see come race day, because they have struggled with balance across the season, but he has been there or thereabouts, if not crashing into someone, but he will see. Qualifies P11 for tomorrow's Grand Prix. Nannini again out-qualifying his teammate Nelson Piquet in the Benetton, still the only Benetton to win a Grand Prix this season, which we know that Nelson Piquet does not like. Still no word on whether he's continuing past 1990 I should say, but Nannini qualifying himself in a lovely P6. He said the car is getting better and better, but he does not think it will be able to match the McLaren or Ferrari for the rest of the season, but he is very happy with his qualifying position. Since signing his contract for the Williams team for the 1991 season, Game has struggled massively in his Lotus. No one really has said it out loud yet, but I wonder if Williams jumped the gun a little bit too soon, but he proved everyone wrong, qualifying in P5 for tomorrow's Belgium Grand Prix. He said he thought the car would be better around these sort of tracks, and he was right, P5. Alain Prost has put his car in P3 for tomorrow's Grand Prix, unable to catch the McLaren cars. They seem to have lost a lot of ground on the McLaren team throughout the season, but Prost with 18 points is advantage in the championship. He just needs to sit behind Gerhard Berger, and the championship should be his. Not a great amount of races left, but we believe it's massively in his hands. But he qualifies P3 for tomorrow's Belgian Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic. He knows what he needs to do, being 18 points back now from Alain Prost. He needs to win, win and win. And he has done an excellent job by putting his car on pole position, out qualifying Ayrton Senna, who was massively close to him, just the 1/10 behind him. But Berger has qualified P1. We believe Senna is going to help him out. Senna is a good team player. Doesn't like Alain Prost, we know that. Likes Gerhard Berger, but he's done fantastic to put his car on pole position for tomorrow's Grand Prix.
Hello there. Welcome to Belgium. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful.
Right, join us on the grid now for the 1990 Belgium Grand Prix. Let's give you the grid rundown. Gerhard Berger qualifying on pole position ahead of his teammate Ayrton Senna. Prost taking up third alongside his teammate Nigel Mansell in fourth. Game with a fantastic result in P5. Nannini slamming his Williams into P6. He was fantastic. Just ahead of his teammate Nelson Piquet in seventh place. Boutsen still looking for a drive in P8, but Tracy P9. The Leighton House driver in P10. Suzuki with a fantastic result in 11th. And Lacey down in 12th. Bernard in 13th, Capelli taking his Leighton House all the way to 14th place, Nakajima in the other Tyrrells in 15th, Derek Warwick in the other Lotuses in 16th, Brabham, Moda take up 17th and 18th respectively. 19th is Alboreto, alongside him is Cafe in 20th place, Barilla in 21st, Martini in 22nd, Alot in 23rd, and 24th is Nicola Lorini. Right, join us on the start of the grid now. We've jumped a little bit forward there, but we haven't gone over. We haven't gone over the white line. I don't think we haven't been given a drive through, and we are away from the starting grid. And that's a slow start in Nigel Mansell, and we've jumped him off the line. Are we going to have Prost? No, we did get a fantastic start. Admittedly, we were rolling at the time, but they haven't given us a penalty for it. So I don't make the rules. You get the penalties, or I ain't doing no more. But we head down towards Eau Rouge, and we've got ourselves in P4. It will be difficult now to keep Nigel Mansell just behind us, but we'll see. We can see how this will play out. Prost now stretching a bit of a lead on us, but here comes Nigel Mansell. He's got the faster car, you would presume, but it's not an easy place. You've got to go on the slipstream, but we get out the slipstream, and he hasn't really followed us, so I'm not really sure what he's doing. But we stay ahead in P4, so I'm happy with that. A little replay of the start. There we see Gerhard Berger alongside his teammate Ayrton Senna, and they are away. They are away well. You can see a slow start in Nigel Mansell, who's all over the place, really. He probably doesn't care in that Ferrari anymore. But we head to La Source, and it's It's a very tame opening corner there. As you see ourselves, we've got Mansell behind us, followed by the two Benetton cars in 6th and 7th place. We fly through Eau Rouge, and it was a rather tame start, actually, for once. Usually it all kicks off, but this is how close Nigel Mansell got to us as we head down the long straight. We pulled out the slipstream, he didn't come with us, and that probably really cost him a chance at giving us a bit of aggro for P4. But as we look on board with, we believe it's Riccardo Patrese. It's not Patrese, it's Boutsen. Takes full advantage of the barrier. That is horrendous from Boutsen. Poor driving. Patrese hit the wall as well, but he is undamaged as we ride on board now with Thierry, because he gets a thundering lineup. This just crashes into the wall. No wonder he hasn't got a drive for next season yet. But you rejoin us. We are starting to lose a bit of ground now to Alain Prost, who's got the gap over a second. But Nigel Mansell just behind us, for half a second behind us. Join us on the outside of the car, and Nigel Mansell is right up behind us as we head towards the final bus stop chicane. We've got a couple of corners to navigate through there. If we keep it neat and tidy, we should remain far enough ahead for him to not be able to lunge up the inside. Well, he does not lunge up the inside. So we remain P4 as we end lap 1. I'm happy with how the first lap has gone. I'm not expecting to stay ahead of Nigel Mansell. Going to try and move up the inside. He's not close. He's all over the place in that car. No balance whatsoever, and we remain in P4. I'm not expected to stay ahead of him for the whole race, but we shall see. But here is Patrese. I should say it wasn't Boutsen earlier, it was Patrese. It's my mistake, and apologies about that, but he's just holding people up now. And oh, that's a disaster. That's Warwick. Warwick has ploughed into the side of Patrese, and that has taken Riccardo Patrese out of the Belgian Grand Prix. He should have just got out of the way. Why is he holding on a racing line? Warwick finds reverse gear, and that leaves Riccardo Patrese out of the Grand Prix. Oh dear. Yes, apologies for my mistake, Boutsen. It wasn't Boutsen, it was Patrese earlier on who crashed into the wall. But you rejoin us now, and Mansell's got a superb run. I think his run was too good over the top of the hill, because we cut him up a little bit. You're allowed to do that. We were allowed to block, and he was kind of forced to get on the brakes, really. So he's lost all his momentum heading up towards this right-left chicane, and we remain ahead. But all this time, Prost drives away from us, and the two McLarens drive further away from us. 2.3 to Prost now, but still half a second to Nigel Mansell, who is looking for a move here. He's looking for a move. This is the closest he's been. We're on lap 4 now of this Grand Prix. Lap 5 of this Grand Prix. I'm making so many mistakes today. I apologise. And but this is the closest Nigel Mansell has been. Can he get a run on the inside? We're going to cut across him as a Ferrari of Prost darting across our screen there. But Nigel Mansell does not get it. That's Prost. Prost's out. Prost has lost his rear wing. He is out of the Belgian Grand Prix, which means if Gerhard Berger continues to lead and win. Oh, he's taken everyone out. Nigel Mansell's been caught up in that as well. That is poor. That is poor. Ferrari will be steaming at that. But this is what happened to Alain Prost as we head towards the final bus stop chicane. That's a brake failure. It's a massive brake failure for Alain Prost. We are getting confirmation that he's out of the car. Driver okay, thankfully that is. We managed to drive round it, but I think Nigel Mansell, if we ride on board... Now this is right on board with Alain Prost. That is scary stuff for the Frenchman. Scary stuff from the Frenchman. Ooh. And then the issue you've got is, we get round it, but Mansell gets caught in two minds about whether to go right or whether to go left. And he chooses too late and clips his teammate and loses his front wing, and that's going to mean he's going to have to come into the pits and get that changed. So Ferrari is a disaster for them. This is Nelson Piquet, who actually has benefited massively because he's jumped his teammate. And yeah, because Nannini was caught up in a bit 2 miles as well, and up the inside goes Nelson Piquet, clips the wall but head on, side tyre on, and he jumps up into another position. But this is Piquet, this is Boutsen, I apologise, who just gets round, and it's probably going to sweep round the outside of Nannini, and he does sweep round the outside of Nannini. So Nannini's lost out big time here. He got caught up in the Prost incident, but Nannini's got some pace. We'll see if he'll be able to get past this Williams. We think the Benetton is quicker than the Williams, but we will see. But just a couple of corners later, we are looking at Boutsen. We are looking at Nannini. There is Nigel Mansell with no front wing, and Nannini is close to the back of Boutsen's rear wing, even closer. He might even be able to use Nigel Mansell as a weapon in his arsenal. But is that Boutsen up the inside? It isn't. Boutsen's not going to dive up the inside, but Nannini's going to dive up the inside of Boutsen. Is he going to be able to hold it on the inside? They're side by side as they head round the corner, and Nannini's going to sweep. He does sweep round the outside, but he's gone off the grass. He's gone onto the grass, and he clouts Boutsen as they comes back onto the track. A little bit of argy-bargy, but Nannini is ahead of Thierry Boutsen, and well, that was all very close. That could have ended in tears for the Williams and Benetton teams. But Nigel Mansell has come into the pits to get that front wing replaced, completely ruining a chance of a podium here today. But yeah, here he comes out of the pits now, and he'll rejoin the track. We will have to check. Is he going slow? Mansell's out. That's a double retirement from Ferrari. That is poor, poor stuff for the Ferrari team. In a weekend, they just needed to score a couple of points, really. That is horrendous from the Ferrari team. The engine just cuts out, seizes up. Nigel Mansell is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. But that means with Prost out, Berger leading. Berger, ooh, that's a massive moment from game there, as he nearly has a career-ending injury. That would have been at high speeds. Massively high speeds. We find ourselves 17.5 seconds behind Ayrton Senna, but we're 12 ahead of PK, so P3 at a podium is probably ours for the taking. But Berger leading, which means if he wins, he will bring the gap down to 9 points. Because this car is so horrendously bad on tyres, we're going to be forced to make a pit stop. We're going to have to dive into the pit lane for a fresh set of tyres. Amazingly hit the mark. We're now diving out of the pits. We've lost out to PK, but the speed, there is PK. That's a lie. Yeah, it is PK. We have only lost out to PK, and he's only 2 and a bit seconds up the road, so we should be able to catch him in the 2 laps that we have got here. But we are looking at Ayrton Senna now. He hasn't really had the pace to match his teammate Gerhard Berger today, who's 8.5 seconds up the road. It's something's just not going right for him this season. That is bull. It's out. Ayrton Senna is out of the Belgian Grand Prix once again. He's out. Oh, that is rotten luck. Oh, that is rotten luck. Oh, you cannot make it up. Senna there, we know he's a little bit unhappy in that McLaren at this present point in time, but we are looking at Game versus Nelson Piquet. They have had their fair share of battles this season on track. They've all been fairly fair. Let's hope it stays that way as we head down towards the last couple of corners of the lap. We have the Blanchimont corner, and it is flat, but you can't really make a move. You've got to have some space hoppers down there if you're going to make a move. But we have got the speed out there. A dive up the inside into the bus stop chicane, and that gives us our P3 back onto the podium. We are definitely... No, that gives us P2 now. With Ayrton Senna out of the Grand Prix, that gives us P2. Some fantastic points, but the man of the hour, the man of the weekend, Gerhard Berger, comes towards the end of the lap. That's not Alain Prost, by the way. I had an issue with liveries. That's actually the life car. I just cannot get it to go back. Alright, please, okay? But Gerhard Berger rounds the final corner, and he takes all 9 points to go within 9 points of Alain Prost in the championship. It is not done yet. Gerhard Berger is not done yet. But you've got us, and we've got a little bit too much speed as we head into that. Could have been tears, but we're going to get a rapid and outrageous P2 as we come across the line to take 6 points. I am absolutely over the moon with that. Fantastic. But here comes Nelson Piquet to take a podium place. P3, lovely stuff in the Benetton team. Excellent stuff. But here comes Nannini, who is now massively battling with Boutsen. Boutsen seems to have a great car towards the end of this Grand Prix. But is he going to have enough time? There's 1 corner to go. And he dives up the inside, but Nannini's going to hold him off. Fantastic stuff. But is Nannini going to hit the grass? They've touched. Oh, and Boutsen's hit the wall. That's going to allow Nannini to drive around the final corner and take P4. Boutsen P5. Lovely stuff. And yes, whoa. That was a fantastic Belgian Grand Prix. I would take that. But there's the confirmation of Gerhard Berger winning the Grand Prix from ourselves, from Nelson Piquet taking the podium places, but as you can see the retirements there. Senna's retirement was suspension. Mansell had suspension failure, not engine as we suspected. What's that done to the championship? There you can see Gerhard Berger 9 points back from his championship rival Alain Prost, and it is all to do now. Nannini keeps P4 in the championship. We've got P3. We've jumped back above Nannini with a fantastic P2 for myself. Lucked into it a little bit. I think we were really quick in that first stage of the Grand Prix, but I'm happy with that. Senna is all the way down on 18 points. Oh, that's poor. That's poor. It's 15 points, I think. I can't. It's 16 points. But it's between Gerhard Berger and Alain Prost. Prost being the favourite at this point in time. But there is the Constructors' Championship. But if you've enjoyed this video, join us next time for the Italian Grand Prix.